Mom accidentally walks in on her son naked and discovers a huge secret about his body. Her panicked reaction catches her friend Pilar's attention.
Tiene un miembro descomunal.
Pilar laughs it off, thinking it's no big deal. After all, Ursula's son is growing up, but Ursula still worries that her inbreeding might have caused her son's abnormality. Pilar reassures her and offers to do a tarot reading for her son. Pilar lays out a tarot deck in front of Jose, telling him to relax and pick 3 cards. But when she sees the results, her expression suddenly turns serious.
Que vas a ser indomable como un vendaval.
Jose feels pretty smug about this, but just then, Pilar suddenly reaches under the table. Jose instantly feels a jolt, like he's been electrocuted, leaving him weak.
Qué bárbaro.
The moment is broken when Ursula walks in. Pilar tells her that Jose won't have to worry about women or offspring in the future. Ursula finally relaxes, unaware that her son's fate has just been completely altered. That night, Jose can't stop thinking about that strange feeling. He's all hot and bothered, tossing and turning in bed. He sneaks out of the house and, as if possessed, heads towards Pilar's place. In the darkness, a hand grabs Jose. Pilar seems to have expected him. On this not-so-quiet night, Jose becomes a real man, and Pilar experiences unparalleled pleasure. The next day, clueless Ursula asks Pilar to look after her 2 sons. Jose and Pilar secretly hold hands, enjoying this fresh and exciting feeling. But Aureliano notices something off about his brother. He realizes Jose often leaves his room at night, only returning just before dawn. After persistent questioning, Jose spills the beans. Although Aureliano is young, he's curious about the amazing experiences his brother describes.
Tú no sabes toda la cosa que se puede hacer con la lengua, Aureliano. Te sorprenderías, como un temblor de tierra.
Meanwhile, Buendia has no idea his eldest son has gone astray. He's still absorbed in his inventions and creations. He finally succeeds in developing a solar-powered weapon. It can focus the sun's energy to ignite distant objects. Buendia and his family are thrilled, and even Ursula slightly changes her attitude towards his research. Suddenly, familiar music fills the air. The gypsy caravan has returned to Macondo. Buendia excitedly takes his sons to watch the acrobatics show, as these gypsies always bring something new. After paying 30 reales, Buendia sees a massive ice-cold stone. He's never seen ice before and thinks it's a diamond. He pays another 5 reales just to touch it. The icy sensation is unlike anything he's ever felt, but his main goal is to see his old friend Melquiades, so he asks an old man performing an invisibility trick.
Melquiades murió en los médanos de Singapur.
Buendia feels like the world is spinning. Before he can ask more, the old man vanishes in a puff of black smoke, along with the other gypsies. At that moment, Buendia's world seems to empty out. He returns to his lab, devastated, deeply missing the man who introduced him to the world of science. The best way to honor Melquiades, he decides, is to keep the alchemy he brought alive. That night, Ursula suddenly goes into labor. With Buendia holed up in his lab, Ursula gives birth to a baby girl on her own. She still fears the inbreeding curse, but luckily, the baby doesn't have a tail. As the whole family celebrates the new arrival, Buendia finally emerges from his lab. He proudly shows off his alchemical achievement. He's extracted gold from an alloy, but Jose voices a different opinion.
Parece mierda de perro.
Buendia, furious, slaps him. This slap changes Jose's fate. Full of resentment, he runs away to seek comfort from Pilar. He's tired of spending all day in the land with his father and would rather be with Pilar. They stroll through the market arm in arm like a couple, watching the flying carpet in the sky. That's when Pilar sweetly shares a surprise with Jose.
Vas a tener un hijo.
Jose is scared out of his wits. He's still living under his father's protection and never imagined becoming a father himself. He chooses to avoid reality, forcing himself not to think about what's coming. That night, unable to sleep, Jose goes to the night market to clear his head. A shapely gypsy girl catches his eye. With just one look, they end up having an intimate encounter. It's not until the next morning that Ursula realizes he was missing. She hurriedly takes Aureliano to search for him. After hearing from neighbors that Jose was with a gypsy girl last night, Ursula rushes to the gypsy camp. But the caravan has left, and Jose has gone with them to see the colorful world outside. Ursula sends Aureliano to tell his father while she plunges into the forest to search for Jose. However, Even after Buendia and the neighbors search for 3 days and nights, there's no trace of Jose, and Ursula has vanished too. The once lively courtyard suddenly becomes desolate. The task of caring for the baby girl falls to Buendia, but he remains obsessed with his alchemy research. Aureliano often helps with his experiments. 5 months later, while fiddling with a telescope, Aureliano suddenly spots a familiar figure. He quickly calls his father to look, confirming it's his long-lost mother. It turns out Ursula, while searching for Jose, stumbled upon a town on the other side of the swamp. She's returned with many skilled immigrants. Sadly, she still couldn't find Jose. Buendia is relieved. Ursula has fulfilled his unfinished wish, connecting Wakanda to the outside world. They also gain 2 servants for their household. Just as the Buendia family is basking in the joy of reunion, Pillar suddenly shows up with a baby. Ursula struggles to accept that her friend had a secret affair with her son and gave her a grandson. Buendia, sensing the shared bloodline, feels compassion. Ursula agrees to adopt the baby, but sets conditions.
Entonces esta puta no vuelve a poner un pie en esta casa. Y ese niño no va a saber quién lo parió.
So the Buendia family grows by 1 more. Buendia names his grandson Arcadio after his father Jose Arcadio. Aureliano, still melancholy over losing his brother, shuts himself in the lab, immersed in silversmithing. Arcadio and his aunt Amaranta grow up as close playmates. Aureliano loses his boyish looks and regains the intense gaze he had at birth. It seems his ability to foresee the future has returned.
¿Alguien va a venir?